we're going to go over what some of our predictions were from 2025, see what the results were, and we're also going to talk about, what were the hottest neighborhoods in Saskatoon for 2025, and if that will continue for 2026. Welcome back. I'm here with my brother Gregg again, and we're going to kind of go over what some of our predictions were from 2025, see what the results were, and we're also going to talk about, what were the hottest neighborhoods in Saskatoon for 2025, and if that will continue for 2026. So, Gregg. Tell me a little bit more about those neighborhoods.
Well, I mean, first off, I think that at the beginning of 2025, I put a prediction in that I thought the market in Saskatoon was going to go up 10%. And that number was actually 6.3% overall. So some neighborhoods would have went up probably a lot more than 10%, but on average, and with the cooling of the market kind of in the fall, not that we were really dropping in price in certain neighborhoods, but the median did go down, right? But overall, we're 6.3% higher across Saskatoon. But the strongest neighborhoods in that were Stonebridge was number one with 295 properties sold. Brighton was 278. Rosewood was 217. Willow Grove was 182. And Evergreen was 175. And coming in sixth, which is where we grew up, the old Wildwood, was 169. So usually
some happy people in that location, I think.
Yeah, Wildwood. Yeah. It's starting to be up at the top of the housing chart there.
Yeah. I'm kind of shocked that Stonebridge is there. I would have assumed that it would have been Brighton just because of all the new development, and like Stonebridge is, it's obviously fully developed.
I think so. If you look at the average price, it was $436 in Stonebridge. So that would have been a lot of townhouses.
Right.
So I mean that's where your numbers come from. The average price in Brighton was $550, and Rosewood was $610,000.
Right.
So Rosewood, you're looking at a lot more single-family houses for sure for that price. Brighton, I mean, your townhouses are now super expensive in Brighton, or your duplexes or whatever, semi-detached properties. Willow Grove was $382,000 on average. So I mean, you're now getting into a lot of the townhouse developments there.
Yeah.
And then Evergreen was $446,000. So we're seeing still a lot of kind of the starter homes or first-time home buyers getting into properties in these neighborhoods. And then Wildwood was $285,000. So that would have mean a lot of condos sold on Tate.
For sure.
Right? Like that's basically what we're seeing there, because they range from about 135 to now 225, right? And so then on average with the single family houses that are going in there. But Wildwood's also not a really big neighborhood either, right? It's it has heritage in there, and then it's got quite a few condos and so forth, but it's not a large neighborhood. So yeah, I think that's why Stonebridge took kind of the cake on that one.
Yeah. I also think it's newer houses. People, is that I think that a lot of people don't want, most people like the idea of having a newer house, not having as much maintenance to do, as much upkeep and those kind of things. So I think that that's also somewhat of the reason why
our top five,
they're all newer neighborhoods.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. I would have expected there was a little bit more in some of the others, but.
Well, the one thing I found really weird on this one, and I don't even know how this number is right.
Is it?
It's a great question. Want
to tell us about it?
Yeah, no, I'm just looking here. I think I actually got it a little bit wrong, but the average selling price in Nutana was $545 in that neighborhood, right? So you're just like, it's just interesting going through these and seeing what was also the most expensive. I mean, Varsity View probably was actually higher than Briarwood. So that's probably our highest number on the average sale price, right? So
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you think you see, okay, like thinking about why these average selling prices are what they are, do you think it'll continue with these being the top ones, or do you think other ones will maybe take over?
I think that you're going to be very similar for the next year here. I can't guarantee, obviously, I can't guarantee anything, but at the same time, is that I would say that something that's going to be your newer houses that aren't going to need as much work being done on them. I think that that's something. Um, you're also a lot of change. Like you think, Rosewood started in 2007, so there's that like 5 to 10 year mark where people are kind of moving on to their next properties and that kind of stuff. Um,
Yeah, that was wild when that started. They didn't even have roads in. You're driving on dirt.
Yeah, keep in mind is that the only thing I was just curious about the schools and that kind of stuff, but the only one that doesn't would have been Brighton,
Right.
right? Just because that would be a factor, and I think that
The draw, right? Yeah, draw
Yeah.
for newer schools.
yeah, so that was kind of something that I thought it might be, but I do think is like look at all the yeah, it's a good question.
It'll be interesting with Brighton to see if they are going to be developing those lots, and if they are like 6 months behind on putting in the infrastructure, will that decrease the amount of property sold or even being able to be built in that
Yeah,
neighborhood?
I think so. But here's the thing: is that Stonebridge is doing the same thing, and those are all built and have been done for quite some time, right?
Yeah. So
So
you're saying resale will
I think
just
resale will remain. Is that you're just looking at you're just looking at people moving into a different, part of their life,
right?
right? What you're seeing with that.
Which neighborhood do you think is the best value in Saskatoon for your dollar?
Whew, that's a good question.
Well, I think
You
a
know,
lot of people are always wondering, right? Like where would you buy, or where's the value?
I guess it depends on what I'm doing. If it's a family thing or if it's an investment side of things as well too,
Yeah,
right? Um, I think that your bang for your buck, you know, Buena Vista actually might be a pretty good bang for your buck. Holliston, Haltane, those kind of places.
yeah,
I do think that the size of the lots are appealing. The proximity in Saskatoon to to anywhere downtown, access to the across to the freeways and that kind of stuff is that I do think that there's a lot of value in those neighborhoods. Um, See a lot of people moving back to Lakeview.
yeah.
Seeing those 1980s homes that are built well. You're not dealing with you know cast iron issues. Your insulation's still good.
There's no asbestos. There's
Yeah,
no.
so we're seeing a lot of that I think that there's a lot of value, and I think those homes that your renovations might not be as costly as some of your older homes
And if
that
you
you're
buy
going to
them
see.
now and you do renovate them, they'll actually really see the increase in the future, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I think that those kind of areas is that those 1980s. I think Silverwood Heights would be a good example of that as well too,
Yeah,
where you're getting
River Heights.
River
Yeah,
Heights. You're getting a little older in River Heights though.
yeah.
Yeah,
If I was going to say where do I see, like, if it's a first time home buyer or somebody looking at something in a price range, I was thinking like if you were Holliston, Hollatane, Nutana Park, Adelaide Churchill, Queen Elizabeth, Buena Vista. Buena Vista, let's get a little bit older, so some
yeah,
of those basements are a little bit more
right.
on
But
the.
proximity as well too. It's
But
like
that neighborhood, you get overall, you're close to everything. You got mature trees, you got bigger lots, you got right, and I think that neighborhood historically, all infills were like north of Taylor, but I think you will see a lot of stuff now going south, just because I mean I've had clients buy on these lots and they're 50 or 140, and they can build a double detached property
yeah,
on them, and you're still buying a lot for maybe 350,
yeah.
right?
I
And
agree.
you're close to everything.
I think the exhibition area was a deterrent for something like Buena Vista for some time, right?
Yeah.
I think it's really changed now, but I think that that was also something over the years that, has adjusted those neighborhoods a little bit.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But I think there is some opportunity in those older neighborhoods. I think a lot of people are moving back to bigger lots,
Yeah.
larger trees, maturity, right? Privacy,
Yeah.
those kind of factors, right?
Yeah. Smaller schools,
Yeah,
like it's crazy to think of, how all those kind of things affect what a family's kind of going through and what their lifestyle is.
yeah. That's the big factor, I think, is asking yourself, what's your lifestyle? How do you want to live? Like, I find Nutana, yeah, you're going to pay a premium, but I mean, you can walk you can walk the river, right?
Yeah.
You can do a lot of other things. You got Broadway there. It's a little bit more of a walking area. But if you're living in Briarwood, I mean, you can walk around Briarwood, but I mean, you're going to drive to different places because there's not a lot of amenities around there, right?
Yeah.
What's your thoughts? And I just saw this come out, and a lot of people complaining on this, and I'm not sure if you've seen it, but the development of Wildwood Golf Course. Did you see this come out?
I haven't actually.
Yeah, so I just saw it come out, and it was like, so it's being put forward is to put housing where the golf course is.
Yeah, okay.
And I was like, I mean, we grew up playing at Wildwood Golf Course, so it's kind of one of those things that we've always enjoyed and so forth. But it's city owned, and I mean, that's a lot of land there.
It is.
Right? Like, I mean, what's that the size of? Like, is that a Briarwood? Like, how big? Half a Briarwood?
It'd be a quarter or something like that.
Okay.
Roughly. I
Yeah.
don't really have a
No, I guess
exact
so, yeah.
measurement on those kind of things, but yeah, I guess the question is if the golf course is making money, and that makes a big difference for it. But at the same time,
Yeah.
is that the development side of things, of developing more land inside inside our city limits and not expanding and having to put more infrastructure and those kind of things, I think that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
It's probably free land from the city.
Free land. It's instead of going urban sprawl, you've got a lot, and they could keep a lot of the park part of it and so forth, mature trees. Change happens,
Yeah,
right?
I can see why some of the neighborhood doesn't really want that, is that it becomes a higher density area. There's a lot of, there's a lot more movement there, but it is,
I mean, Briarwood might not like it, but I mean, it improves the condos on Tate, like the value in there.
Yeah.
Heritage might not love it, but there's only a couple that kind of back that spot. So that's a new development that they're talking about, but that's just I don't know if it's been voted on or anything, but in the last couple of days, I've seen a lot of heated opinions on how it's a dumb idea. But I just thought I'd kind of talk about it, because when we're looking at development side, I was like, you're right in the middle of everything, right? The other side is the university side that's going to come out, and just seeing how that will affect the neighborhoods around there, and then also meeting the needs of university students, and then also maybe making it so that those properties that are run down that were originally rented now will turn over, or for lot value, or for redevelopment for housing in that neighborhood, because now student housing or whatever the fact is going in there. It's probably a lot more than student housing, but they're looking at doing a healthcare facility in there, long-term, short-term healthcare, and there's a lot of other things that's looking into. So those are things that I think that I guess maybe we could get some people in to kind of talk about a little bit more on that development side, which would be kind of cool to learn about. The Wildwood thing, I don't know. We're just going to keep our head down on that one.
Well, we don't make the rules. We're just bringing them to the table so everybody can hear what's going on. These are not things that we are in control of by any means, right? So yeah.
But I guess my prediction for this year is I think we're going to have still a pretty strong year. I think I predicted 10% last year. I think we're at least a 6% growth again this year. Maybe a little bit higher, probably like 6 to 8%. I'll go down a little bit just because I feel like we're going to keep on moving forward. New construction prices aren't going to slow. I think that they're guaranteed at least 5% or 6%, right? So new construction is going to be there. New used homes will continue to rise as new construction does as well. And then depending on how many people are moving into the city, right? So, but that's my kind of prediction, because I think because of where everybody else is in Canada, I think everybody's still a little bit wary to just jump on the boat that we are where Calgary was 10 years ago, and we're just going to then just keep on growing.
Right. Well, it's a tough one to say. Is it like, truthfully, Greg, and this is really hard for me to say, is that your 10%, if the market continued the way it was, is the 10% was always in the right realm, but it didn't. It didn't.
So you're almost going to say, like, I was
close.
right?
You just forgot that half the year wasn't going to work for you.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't think it would slow down the way that it did, right?
Yeah. I don't think I think that we're going to start out similar. I don't think that here's the thing is that we found our prices this year and at the start of this year, we didn't really know, you could list things for 300 and get 450, right? And so we didn't really see that. I think this year is that we're probably going to be around that, 7 to 8. I do think that you're right in there. The reason why is that I don't think that we're going to have that big increase right off the start of as we did this year, and I think it's going to be a little bit more of a steady growth throughout the year, right? Is that this year we ended up, basically increasing probably, that 7%, and then probably came down 0.7% in the last 5 months of the year, right? So even though it leveled off, is that I do think that the prices will continue to rise a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna go 7.8%. Yeah,
sounds good.
Mark my words. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to do. I got to be different than yours. I got to figure out if I want to be bullish or if I want to be bearish.
Good call, man. Yeah. Don't take too long. This is getting taped.
I'm gonna go 6.7.
Okay. Well,
yeah. How much is this for?
In 365 days, we're gonna know. I don't know. We'll do a $100 bet.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, for sure.
Caroline, mark it down. Okay, well, I think that kind of gives us a recap of some of the neighborhoods and what we're expecting for 2026.
Yeah.
All in all, is that it looks like it's going to be a strong year. Everything's pointing in that direction. So thanks again for viewing the podcast. It's crazy. It's been 14, 15 months now since we started, and we couldn't have done it without you guys viewing and sharing. So thanks again.
Yeah, we really appreciate it, and all the best.